Welcome students. Today we'll discuss on module 4 part 2 of digital switching systems. So let us see the syllabus. So mainly we have here introduction, basic software architecture at three different levels. Real time three different levels are there. DSS software classification, call models, software linkages during call, and feature flow diagram along with some interactions between the some special features that we'll see when we are going to conclude this one. So let us start with the introduction here. So the main scope of why we are going to study this one is one thing is sure that so far we studied that DSS is going to be a complex system. So complexity comes from both the hardware and software, and software appears to be genuine one. So what we mean by genuine software here is that the software which will be dealing with this 24/7 service providing network, PSTN. So there should not be any bugs, or if they are there, they should be fixed. That is genuine software, which is from that we ensure our services should be there 24/7. So because of this genuinity and the quality of software will make this DSS software more complex, and at the same time become difficult to manage than the hardware that it controls. So this part of the module 4 is going to expose such kind of complications of the software that drives the DSS. So main thing is that we are picturizing, we are getting the picture that the DSS software is going to be genuine, and it is going to be more complex, and rather than it is so easily controlled by hardware, it is very difficult to manage. So that some kind of complications we are going to see here in this regard. Look at the scope. So what we are going to learn here, the software architectures mainly we are going to focus on the architecture of this DSS software at three different levels, along with the classification of different types of DSS softwares, basic call model along with some call features. So let us start with this the first one, the architecture here, basic software architecture. So most of today's DSS systems use quasi-distributed hardware and software architecture. So first try to understand what we mean by this quasi. Quasi means it is incomplete. Okay. So we ENC students came across this word many times in many of the subjects, communication related subjects. Quasi means it is incomplete, quasi-distributed. And all we know that the whole system of this DSS or PSTN is throughout geographically distributed. As far as the hardware or software, if you take into consideration, so that's why the whole system we can think of it as a quasi-distributed. And the control structure of DSS is mainly divided into three different levels that we'll see in the next coming slides. So next, after the quasi-distributed hardware, if you look at the software here, we are thinking of this, discussing of this software on a theoretical basis. That is, here it is written, will explain the software used in hypothetical DSS at different levels of control. So control structure means it mainly contains three different levels. Okay, each level is having its own real-time operating system, not general operating system. Okay, so real-time operating system is required. That we'll see in the next block diagram. And here it is quoted hypothetical DSS because theoretically we are discussing how the basic software architecture is there for the DSS. So the next block diagram shows the different levels of control with the minimum software architectural functions which are necessary for each level of control. And from DSS systems analyst point of view, it is important to understand high level software architecture for digital switch before we'll go for its analysis. Low level details are not required because we are not digging in deep of its design here. Okay, so high level software, sophisticated level, superficially we can see at the higher level how the DSS software will look, software architecture will appears. So if you look at the block diagram, so normally we will get a question on this like write a short note or discuss on the DSS software architecture. In that case, you need to draw the block diagram like this. That is a basic software architecture. A very simple block diagram is there, and you can see here three different levels are there which are coming under the level control of this DSS. So how you can initiate the answer here? Basically, you can start answering to this question by mentioning that the DSS is a quasi-distributed. DSS software is a quasi-distributed. About that, we can elaborate there. Then later, we can dwell into this explanation with the level control. And that too, we are seeing only high-level software architecture, not the low level. That we can 2 points you can quote there. So listen here, how we can start answering to this one. The first one, we can elaborate why DSS software architecture is a quasi-distributed. And second point, you can tell about we are seeing and explaining only about high level software architecture, not the low level. We are not going in deep about the design here. So these 2 points you can tell, then later you can connect with your answer by explaining briefly about this block diagram first. Okay, first 2 points are quasi distributed, and second one why we are discussing the high level DSS software architecture. Third point, we will start explaining about this briefly about what it is appearing in the block diagram. So please listen here carefully what I am explaining about this block diagram. As already mentioned, this the figure shows the basic software architecture for a typical DSS. Okay, it is shown in the block diagram. It contains 3 main level controls: level 1, level 2, and level 3. At level 3, you can see it corresponds to lines and trunks. LM and TM, they will indicate line models and trunk models. Means here for simplicity, I have shown 4 or 5 blocks are there. Each LM and TM block containing where lines and trunks are going to terminate. Okay, which are coming are forming the main parts of the level 1 control. And all these LM and TMs are connected by the IC, interface controller. Okay, this interface controller, what its job? Its job is to let these lines and trunks through LM and TMs to interface with the next matrix of cross points that we discussed in the previous few videos. Okay, you can go through those videos, you can understand. So this IC is its main function is to provide the interface between the lines and trunks directly to the matrix of cross points or fabric of cross points. Okay. So if you look at this level 1 control, and here one real-time operating system is there, RTOS is there. Okay, RTOS means we know that it is different from the normal operating system, desktop operating system what we are using. It is not RTOS. A good example is a real-time operating system that we are observing in the ATM machine. That is a 24/7 it is running at the back end. So whenever somebody will interrupt, then it will come to live and it will do the service. Like that here also at level 1 control, we have one real-time operating system. At the center you can see the kernel is there, hardware that is called kernel, okay, which is directly having the control over the hardware. And above that we have got the operating system level 1. So it will be having the hardware or the kernel will be having the control over the different operations to be controlled by the LMs, TMs and interface controller. So what kind of operations this kernel or OS level 1 is controlling here? The first point you can listen here. It is controlling basically the functions of LMs and TMs. Like example, what is happening in LM and TM? We already discussed. All and each subscriber line is terminating at the line model. In line model, what is happening? Each line is terminating with one terminating equipment, and there we are seeing that it is going to check the line fault, and also it is going to authenticate, okay, whether the subscriber call request is made or not genuinely, or it is happening because of the line fault. So that will be checked in the line model, similarly applicable to the trunk model. So like that, such kind of things you can add in your answers. So those things will be already explained, okay, in the previous modules or videos. Those you can refer and add in your answers part of the answer here. So, and again, what are kind of functions which are controlled at the level 1 by the kernel here is interface controller. And if you look at the previous some of the diagrams there in the previous few slides, you refer back to module 3 there, sorry, module 4 part 1 there. Interface controller is mainly acting like an interface between these line modules or trunk modules and the fabrics of cross points. So what interface controller it is doing? It is transmitting the call request to the second level. That is one job of this IC. Or it is also getting a request from NCP to search for the particular cross points in the from the fabrics of cross points. Okay. So such kind of the functions of ICs are controlled at the level 1, which are actually managed by the kernel or OS level 1 here. Okay. So and it's called recovery here. So recovery will be there. One of the line modules or trunk modules will be halted. Some other line or trunk modules will be used in place of it. So these are the things which are actually controlled at the level 1. So just I will summarize what could be the things which are controlled at the level 1. Functions of line modules, trunk modules, which are controlled, and functions of ICs are controlled. Only thing you should remember, what are the functions of LMs and TMs and ICs, just I explained. If you want, you can rewind and once again listen and summarize for your answers. So let us see what is there in the level 2 control. Okay. In level 2 control, you can see here there are no any LMs and TMs in level 2. Only NCPs are there. NCP means network controlled processors. So what are their main jobs here? There are many NCPs are there here, and you can see here one NCP is having or monitoring a set of LMs and TMs. Like that, each NCP will be having set of LMs and TMs under its monitoring. Okay, this you can tell. And what is happening here? If you look at the level 2 control, the Altos here, operating system at level 2, kernel is there, and DBMS is there. Here it is important, database management system. And here we come across all the database of all line subscribers. What is the number, what is the terminal equipment number, what is its line fault, when it is maintained, when it is serviced, at what date it is serviced, whether the new line is laid or not, what is the fault, at which kilometer, at which point away from the common on which the line fault is there, how many times line faults were occurred for a particular subscriber. All that information for one particular subscriber will be stored here in the database. That is level 2 control. We can say that the level 2 is something like a heart of this DSS. So that's why we need a processor here, and that too many NCPs are there. Okay, and again there are just now the data you have seen about one subscriber you have seen. Like that, there is also another kind of data, like how many different types of hardware equipments are there, different types of software equipments are there in the common office. How many of them are outdated, how many of them are about to outdate, how many of them are serviced, when they are serviced, what are the current problems, all such kind of data. That is one is user data, another one is office data. Like that, many types of data will be there which are there in this DBMS here. And for each subscriber, how many times he made contact with a particular number, all those numbers, and how many times that shortest path it has been found, no, that will be kept as a shortest path in the memory here. So once again, when you look into the through IC, the fabrics of cross points, much time will not be taken to search those cross points, because that map shortest path. Once you made a call, that map shortest path will be found and will be kept in this database. So such kind of data will be maintained here. Okay. Again, there are different types of database are there, like relational database, and some other types are there which are coming here. So all type of data will be kept here that NCP is looking into and managed by this RTOS at level 1. Again, another function what this level 2 real-time operating system going to manage that. Suppose if one NCP is going to halt, because one NCP is going to look after, you can see many LMs and TMs. Okay, then another NCP will come into picture. Okay, normally these NCPs, suppose if there are 10 NCPs are there, one of the NCP will be made master, another others will be made slaves. Like that they will work. Okay, if some of the slaves will halt, no, the master will come into picture. If master will fail, no, then CPU will come into picture. So such kind of management of NCPs will be taken care by this level 2 real-time operating system. Okay, understood? There are two functions, basic important functions, which are managed at the level 2 control RTOS. First, database, that what I explained. Second, NCPs. If one of the NCPs will fail, how they can be managed. Okay, you can rewind and listen and summarize your answers. Try to write in your own sentences. For this, you have to refer Syed Ali book, not Flood. Okay, you have to refer to the Syed Ali book. Again, come back to the level 3 here, level 3 control. If you see here, central processor is there, nothing else. Okay, the master processor, it may be central processor. The specification depends how much data, or how much management, or how much complex your the network is there. Depending on that, this may be a simple CPU, or maybe a workstation, or a server, or what you can say supercomputer, like that. Okay, and if you see here the load on the operating system is go on increasing when you come from level 1 to level 3, because if one of the NCP will fail, one of the LMs or DMs will fail, everything will be borne by CPU now. Now the database, one copy will be kept here, recovery services, switching services, application softwares. Okay, recovery service means if one of the NCP will fail or master NCP will fail, that will be recovered by CPU. Its functions will be looked after by CPU, then NCP recovering will be done by CPU. Switching softwares, that is supervision operation. If one of the LMs or TMs or NCPs will fail, who will do the supervisory operation? That will be taken care by CPU. And application softwares to provide some special services and etc. like that. Again, about these different types of softwares will be later go on discussing later. Those what we are discussing later, those things also now we can include in this answer. So like that we can explain about this basic software architecture for the typical DSS. Okay, so this is a very important part we are covering here, basic software architecture for the typical DSS. So in the next video we can see level 1, level 2 and level 3 controls in detail. We'll stop now.